Today is the 22nd of April, 2022. This is St. Louis Real Estate Investors Networking Friday morning networking session. So glad to have everybody here. It's here. If you got any issues, I know we're all looking forward to just mentioning, hope everybody that was able to make it on Tuesday enjoyed Kevin Chartel's presentation. If not, you get another opportunity tomorrow. He'll be with us all day from 9 to 3 at the Shriners facility. And so if you haven't already, go ahead and you can still log on and get registered on our website, STLREIA.com. There's the button there for the current to register for the April 23rd training session. So go ahead and do it and get, it's only $39, but basically we're covering, this proves we're not for profit. $39, you get a all day with the leading trainer in notes and real estate paper and a box lunch, all for $39. So.
And that covers the renting of the room. We have to rent the room. So.
Yeah, rent of the room was $250 there too. So that's off the shot. And I'm not sure how much it's going to cost us for the projector and screen to the AV guys. I didn't ask. They've done a good job for us on our Tuesday meeting. So I just said, hey, can you get a projector and screen in for it? We're going to be in the Gateway 500 room at the Moolah Shrine Center, the lower level. So if you don't know where they're, find the lower parking lot off of Divine Drive. That's the best way to get in. And I'll have a sign up on the door. It'll be the door on the right-hand side for the lower level. There's 2 doors on the lower level even. So I'm gonna be there early, getting the coffee pot going and putting all the signs up to get people directed in the right direction. So hopefully you can join us. If not, we're here today. So got any questions? Got a lot of real estate expertise on the line here. Glad to take any questions. You got any you got any properties you want to sell, or you're looking for properties in a particular area? Now is a good time to get it out to some of our members. You know, and keep trying to find me a lot so I can build my RV garage on. And she forwarded me another one just this week, and it was like most of the other ones that looks like a good deal, and it's in St. Charles County. Okay, I'll look at it. Well, yeah, it's in the Mississippi River floodplain this time, not in the floodplain of Dardine Creek or one of the cold water creeks around. That's one of the big floodplains, and it's right next to the Dardine Creek, also where the Dardine Creek goes into the Mississippi River. Because there was already a storage facility there. I emailed her back and said, yeah, I understand why there's already a boat storage place there, because there's a lot of harbors around the Mississippi River where people launch their boats and they don't want to haul them all the way back to St. Louis. So they just store them nearby.
Yeah, Lord. Yeah, this is an impossible task. It's not anything available out there.
You see what I've been up against for the last several years.
No, I totally understand. Yes.
But
maybe you should switch to a boat, Lloyd.
Yeah, and then a houseboat instead of an RV. Then I could store it out there in the Mississippi River. I wouldn't care.
And then if it flooded,
But yeah,
little vacation home.
I've lived in St. Charles County too long. I can remember a 100-year flood, and I can remember a 500-year flood. And those are only 20 years apart from each other.
I was gonna say you don't look that old.
It's I don't want to claim how old I am, but you can tell from how many floods I've been through. My brother had a house out on the Mississippi River, on the bank of the Mississippi River back in 73. And I lived up high on a hill in St. Charles, on that part of St. Charles County in 94. And we were our neighborhood was inundated with deer looking for high ground, running through, and toads.
Oh, wow.
There was one night we went out to walk the dog. There were just toads all over. Everybody along the sidewalk would cover toads that were coming up out of the flood to escape the floodwaters.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I know how the floods happen. Like I said, it's been about 20 years, and it's been about 20 years since that last one. So that's probably why this guy is selling his boat storage area down there on the Doherty River at Doherty Creek at where it goes into Mississippi. So anyway, it's like it was like what 150,000 for it's like almost it was over an acre, I think, of ground with a storage facility already on it. So
Yeah, for 150,000 only.
yeah,
Yeah,
if it wasn't in a floodplain, that would be worth over $1 million probably.
I know.
Well, what's the insurance going to cost you on that?
I just probably can't get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
So-
Lord, I guess we should just start looking on this side of the river, huh?
yeah, and even the one you found on St. Louis County even was on a creek. It was backed up to a creek.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Thing too. So no, yeah, I said I'll look at Maryland Heights. Somebody close by St. Anne. In fact, I was just looking at some issues in St. Anne today again, and didn't find anything that met my criteria. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for a little house even with maybe a 2-bedroom house could be good little rental, and then sitting on a large lot where I could build an RV garage on it. Anybody gets a lead on that? Yeah, let me know. I'm in the market for something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's an excellent idea with a house on it. Yep.
Yeah, because I'm already managing rentals, so one more rental wouldn't tax me too much.
Do you have a price point that you're looking for?
Like 150,000 was that way if they had something on it, especially if it had a facility, a barn on it that was big enough to I could store my RV in already. Yeah, I wouldn't have put out any money. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's no issue. But it would have to have a large enough lot to build a garage for at least one RV. Ideally, I was planning on building a 2 or 3 or 4 stall garage. That way I could lease out the additional spaces and pay for my storage. Right now I'm paying my rent went up for at our RV storage place went up from $450 to $500 this month.
Ooh, that's too much.
Yeah. Well, it's a hot commodity, and they realize it because they built the owner of this one built it out in 3 stages. The first one it took him a couple of years to get it full, but he filled it up and he built a copy of it on the other. There's like 20 units in that building. He built a mirror image of it on the other side of the lot, 20 units. It filled up in less than a year. So now he built the 3rd unit right down the middle. It's filled up in less than 6 months.
Yeah.
Since it was finished. So
We're in the wrong business, aren't we?
yeah, we're there. Yeah, the storage business is. I should have gotten into that years ago.
Yeah.
But that's granted, those buildings are expensive to build. But you got my unit has a 14-foot high by 12-foot wide door, and it's got 16-foot high ceilings in it. So it's not just a regular garage. So it's a commercial metal building structure. So it's not just a barn thrown up, a pole barn, which is what I would build if I'm building. I would build a pole barn. And anyway.
My mother-in-law lives in Mississippi, and there's a guy who bought land just up from her house, and he's kind of turned it into almost like it's like a little RV park. But he did it really well. He put a little grocery store in there, and it looks kind of like he's got like the little Yogi Bear thing, and so it's got like a little theme to it. But that thing is packed 365 days a year. He's always got people in there. It's never vacant. It's always.
Yeah.
I tell my mother-in-law, I'm like, dang it, that's a great business model. I wish I thought of it.
Yeah, especially since COVID hit, because everyone wants to get out on the road and out in the, not wanting to be close up in the city, and they don't like renting places. And yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
We're staying in hotel rooms that what's in the air conditioner filter. I've stayed in one hotel room since COVID, and I took along a whisk broom and a bottle of Lysol to sanitize the air conditioning system. The hotel is only a year old. So I figured, okay, it should be free. I pulled the filter out of the what do you call this? The air conditioning unit. It was black. It had never,
Oh my.
and they could not have done any maintenance in the year that since the hotel was built. So it just tells you what kind of, and this was well, it wasn't a Hampton Inn, but it was one of those lesser ones that's owned by the Hilton chain. But yeah, and I wore a mask while I cleaned the filter out, and then I sprayed it with Lysol and let it dry and put it back together. So yeah, that's why there's a lot of people are getting into the RVs. In fact, the RVs are going for a premium now. I could probably sell my RV. I bought it back in 2018. I could probably sell it for more than I paid for it. I bought it brand new, just with a dealer discount and everything. I could probably sell it for what I paid for it or more.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't sell it because I had to replace it with something and go back to the marketplace again.
So Lloyd, we've got something on chat. Mary's looking for a
Okay.
rehab.
Looking for a rehab. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for monitoring the chat. I'll let you monitor that, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I lost it. Yeah, Mary's looking for a rehab in the 63033 zip code, 3-bedroom. Mary, do you want to talk about it? Give us some more information.
Unmute yourself and come on here.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mary. Go ahead.
Yeah, I normally do rehabs down in the North County area, and I working on one right now, but I was looking, to purchase another one. I've always have one I'm working on and one I'm buying. So I was looking for a 3-bedroom with a basement, preferably 2 bathrooms. And I was just wondering if was anybody holding any property like that they wanted to let go of.
Yeah, if anybody on here today, or if you want to give us your contact information. We also put this we're recording this session, and we put it on our website. So some people that can't get on visit it later. If you want to give out some contact information, either email or phone number you'd like to be contacted by, somebody might have something for you later on.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay. You want to just say it, and we'll get that way. I'll get on the recording.
Okay, my email address is FINLEYMERRY@yahoo.com. Mary.
Okay, I got it written down here too. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Basically, your last name, your first name, and at
Yahoo.
Finley Mary with a MERRY at yahoo.com. Okay.
Correct. Okay. That's correct.
Okay. How is your rehab going? You're saying you're working on one now? Are you getting close to finishing up? And are you going to be?
Well, I just closed on one last Tuesday, and that I sold. And then I have one that I had already bought, because that's why I'm always got one that I'm getting ready to sell while I'm working on one. So I purchased one on March the 7th. I should probably be about another maybe 2 and 3 weeks before I'm able to put it out there on the market. So that's why I'm right now looking for my next project.
Yeah, trying to fill your pipeline.
Trying to do that, right?
Yeah, that's good. Hey, it's not like you got a good business model going there. Hopefully we can keep your pipeline filled.
Yeah, it's just hard to find properties these days. It's just hard.
Well, that's Mary, are you going to Kevin's thing tomorrow?
What is it about? What is it?
Yeah,
good segue. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I mean, you can find properties by buying non-performing notes that either you can foreclose upon or you can make reperforming. But I don't want to waste a lot of time, but you can, if anybody has any questions later, I mean, I can kind of get into a little bit more deeper, but yeah, with non-performing notes, these are notes that the banks have sold to usually hedge funds because they don't want to foreclose upon. And then the hedge funds put it out and onto the market for people like us. Eventually it flows down to buy. So basically you're the bank. And then if you want to, if you do your due diligence and it's a good area, you can either make it a re-performing note by talking to the people that live there, or you can do a cash for keys and take the property, or you can foreclose it. But that's why you have to do your due diligence, because you may end up with the property. So
you may end up with the property.
Yeah, you may end up with it. So if you end up with the property, just like a bank foreclosed, you can foreclose or do cash for keys, and then you have property. And a lot of these non-performing notes, as Kevin mentioned on Tuesday, you can get 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. So is it in the chat about your event tomorrow?
Well, it's on our website, STLREIA.com. And I got it on Meetup too, if you're a member of our Meetup group. I've got but I direct you in Meetup to register. It's only, we're charging $39 for it because we got to rent an extra room, and we're furnishing lunch. It's
I heard him say that it was $39, but I didn't know what it was about, And I knew you had one earlier this week, and you said there's another one tomorrow, but I didn't know what you were talking about.
Well, it's the same speaker. He was just giving a sample. He gave a 90-minute presentation on possibilities were in the note business and how it's changed in the last several years. And now Kevin Shortell is a well-known educator on the investing in mortgages and notes. I spent back in 2013, 2014. I had 2 weekend seminars, and he was the best speaker of everybody that presented at 2 weekends that I went to. And Jim Choik is currently one of his clients, and I'm looking forward to hearing what's changed since the last time. I've done a few notes, created more than I've purchased, but it's another way. I'm actually thinking about more seriously. That's why I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Well, I mean, yeah, Lloyd. I mean, for a lot of people in the group here, if you're landlords and you want to get rid of your properties, you can generate your own notes. You don't have to pay the capital gains tax. Is a big chunk, and you still have monthly income coming in, just like a bank would, but you don't have the landlord issues.
Yeah, don't have that. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm getting to the age. My kids aren't interested in managing my properties, so my wife keeps saying, "Okay, why do you want to?" Anymore? What I have been doing is when I sell to my lease option. I've been doing the lease options. When I sell to one of my lease option tenants, I got plenty of time. They give me plenty of notice. I know they're getting qualified, so I'm out looking for another replacement property. And so I sell that when they close on their property, that house, I purchase another one, and without laying my hands on the cash, I put it in escrow and do a what's called a Section 1031 exchange. But then I've got another property to manage, so that's
eventually I'm gonna feel like I just want to sell everything and get out and enjoy life and not have to hassle with it.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point too. So I should be closer to it than you. So
on the chat, Justy has a couple condos in St. Peter's for sale. Justy, talk about that.
Yeah, can you unmute yourself and tell us about it?
Yes, full disclosure, I am a licensed real estate agent. I have to disclose that to you guys. So I work with Berkshire Hathaway, just so that you know. Although we're not opposed to, like, if we don't have to put it on MLS, I'd be happy not to do that because it's a pain in my backside too. But anyway, so I have 2 over in the Montecito Carriages complex over in St. Peter's. One is a 2-bed, 2-bath, and one is a 2-bed, 1-bath. They're both on the upper level floors. There are only 4 units in each of those buildings, so they're on the top floor. All of them have a little storage unit that's down in the basement and a private garage entry as well. And all of that has keys and locks and that sort of thing. I have a renter in both. The renter in the let me make sure I get the right one. In the 2-bed, 1-bath will be out at the end. Well, actually, probably, let's see, she'll be out at the middle of May. And then my renter in the other one will be there. Their lease expires the end of June. We are right now, I'm getting the one that they're going to be out in May. I'm getting $1,500, but it was a short-term rental. The other one I'm getting $1,410, I think. And that could be renegotiated because their contract's coming, the lease ends June 30th. And we haven't really discussed renewing, but they did tell me they wanted to renew for at least another year. There is a little bit of an issue with that person. I would have to tell, if anybody's interested, I can give you a little bit more detail with that. She has an emotional support animal that the HOA is not happy about. So that would be an issue. And if you wanted to just, let the lease end and bring in your own renter, that would be fine too. The HOA would be very happy with that. But just to give you some idea, the square footage is about 1,100 for both of them, just a little over 1,100 in both of them. They're nice units. The HOA president is also a tenant, or he lives there, and he's got 4 other units that he rents. So he is hyper vigilant about keeping up the property, which has been great. Sometimes he's a little bit of a pain, but he's hyper vigilant. He keeps an eye on everything. He knows what's going on. He knows what everybody's doing. And he's been trying to do some renovations to the property because apparently they had let some things go a couple of years back. And ever since he's been the president, he's been very progressive about getting, new siding put on and new roofing put on and painting done and that kind of thing. So he's taking good care of the property. What else can I tell you? The units are really nice. They've got 10-foot ceilings. They're open. The kitchens are very open to the living space. So it's kind of a nice open floor plan. What else would you guys like to know?
Okay, well, what are you asking for them right now? If you could do before you get on the MLS.
So the 2-bed, 2-bath, we're asking 170. For the 2-bed, 1-bath, we're asking 164.
What are the HOA fees?
Negotiation.
What are the HOA fees on that monthly?
HOAs just went up. They're $315 a month. They are going to go up by, I think it's $5. I'd have to pull my thing out, my little list, and see. There were some deferred maintenance that happened with the last HOA president. So they put a plan in place for the next couple of years. The HOA, I think, is going up by $5 every year until they hit, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. I don't have that number in front of me, but I think they're going to top out about they're not going to go over 330. Right now they're at 315 a piece.
And there's no issue of having them rented. I know a lot of condos can't be rented. Okay.
No, they don't have any issue with long-term rental. Short-term rental, they have to be 6 months or more. So that's the only caveat. You can't do Airbnb. You can't do VRBO, anything really short-term, like, one night or a couple of nights or a week. You can't do that. They won't let you do that. There's actually a ton of rentals in that unit. Apparently several people bought multiple units and rent out, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So a lot of land there. And that's another good thing, that there's people living there who own units that they're renting, so they're keeping an eye on stuff too.
Okay. Yeah, some of those are hard. Condos that are allowed to rent are hard to find. I know I've currently got one, and there's several, like you said, are owned by the same person who lives in the complex too.
Right. And just FYI too, the 2-bed, 2-bath, we put a new water heater in. So that one's got a brand new water heater in it. The other ones, haven't been updated, but that one's got a new water heater in it.
How old are these units? When were they originally built?
Built, let me look, 2005. They're a Fisher and Frickle build.
Oh.
Yeah, so
that's a pretty quality builder. Yeah.
That's what I mean, I've only lived in St. Louis 4 years now, so everybody keeps telling me that. So
no, I know the name. Yeah, the most recent place around my neighborhood here. When they finished as they were building the neighborhood, they were started at 400,000.
Oh my, yeah.
And they went up to well over $1 million.
Well, they're doing that here. I live in Chesterfield. They're doing that over in Wild Horse Village, and I think last time McKelvey came in and said they were going to start at like 6, and now I think they're over 7. So yeah, who knows what they're going to be by the time they get built.
By the time they finish, yeah.
Yeah. Any other thing I can tell, anything else I can tell you about them?
Okay, well, if you want to give some contact information, like I said, if you want to just say it out, and or you can put it in the chat also, but in the chat doesn't show up with people that are listening to the recording. So if you want
You can reach me by phone. Phone number is area code 615-512-0775, or by email. You can reach me at Justy, Justy, Aiken, Akin, the number 602 at yahoo.com. And it's,
Jesse, are these over by Wolfram and 94?
yes.
Okay.
Let me think. I'm sorry. I don't know the geography. I haven't lived here that long, so I'm not as familiar with the geography. So they're right there with the, we're 94 and 364.
Yeah.
And,
same area. Yeah, it's the kind of thing. That's why I thought Montecito kind of rang in my mind. I used to have a rental house out just past that off Wolfram Road. So.
Yeah. So they're just up from there. So if you went through the light where you turn to go into the complex, you're basically at that interchange with 364 and Mid Rivers Mall.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking they were. So yeah, that's
Got pretty good.
yeah, that's nice area there.
Mm-hmm.
Very convenient. Okay.
So Lloyd, Amber's looking for somebody to repair an ice maker on her fridge.
Oh yeah. We had well, I've got I can give a couple. I just pulled up when I saw that I'm not sure if I know Eddie, and you bought a refrigerator from Eddie too, I found out.
Yeah,
on Tuesday.
I bought a refrigerator from Eddie.
I was talking with Amber about that.
I've got Eddie's number if you want Eddie's
Well,
number.
I got it too. I just pulled it up. She met him. I don't know if you got any card, but yeah,
Okay.
his number is 314-954-0707. And like I said, I have purchased a refrigerator from it. It was a nice, very nice one for about, it looked like it was brand new, and it was like half the price of a new one. And it's still going strong, 4 years. Well, it doesn't, it was about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing it doesn't look as new as it did 4 years ago.
Yeah,
with 5 kids in the house.
I bought a used one from him about a year or so ago, and it's still running fine for what I got out of my hangar. And I don't know if he goes out and does repair work or not.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not sure either. If not, I do have another repair guy. If Eddie doesn't do repairs, I know. I think he buys them in batches, I think is what he does.
Yeah.
The appliance places that haul away your used ones.
But he might know somebody that he could recommend though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah, because he's in that business, heating, air conditioning, refrigeration. He's been in it a long time, so he could probably recommend somebody, even that is probably more reasonable than the guy I use here in St. Charles County.
Lloyd, sorry, who's Eddie and what was the phone number again?
Eddie, okay, let me pull it back up here. Eddie, it's Eddie Crothers. This is his last, and his number is 314-954-0707.
Yep. And he specializes in used appliances.
Used appliances, and he's also the other half of the Energy One team. That's heating, air conditioning.
Yeah.
So he works with Brian. Stein.
Yeah.
Do they install HVAC systems?
Yep.
Yeah, Brian does.
Yeah, Brian does in one of my houses, and Eddie is his right-hand guy. So they work together when they do an installation, especially.
Oh, great. Okay. So Lloyd, can I follow up? I did find my the plan for the Montecito carriages. So I misspoke. They're raising the HOA fee by $15 for the next year, all the way up until 2030. And the reason being that there was some deferred maintenance for about 6 years on the property. And so they're trying to get everything taken care of. Like they just replaced all the siding on the buildings. I know the president that's kind of his priority. So it will go up $15 next year as well. So it's just going to be up until 2030. So they calculate it out. They'll max out at 375 is what the goal was. So they'll stop increasing it in 2028. And we've got, if you want to see pro forma numbers and that kind of stuff, we can certainly provide all of that. We've got all that data and information.
Okay. Okay.
Just a quick question. So I got on a little bit late. Did you provide the addresses to those or just your contact information?
Just the contact information, but I'm
Okay.
happy if you want the addresses. They're 3624 Capri Way and 3424 Capri Way.
Are they on the same building or are they separate buildings?
They're different buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 3 units over there and they're all in different buildings, but they're basically right across the street from each other.
Okay, you said there's only 4 units in a building? And
4
that,
units in the building, 2 on the bottom floor, 2 on the top floor, and all of mine are on the top floor.
okay.
And they've got there's different configurations with the kitchen, and this one has, both of them have the open cathedral ceilings with the open kitchen. So the other one, the other floor plan is the kitchen's kind of tucked in like you walk down the hall, the kitchen's tucked in the corner. This one, you walk in the unit and there's a living space here. There's a little dining space and there's space for a closet. There's space for a pantry if you ever wanted to put one in. They didn't put one in the units. I don't know why, because there's plenty of space there for it. And then the kitchen has got an open bar area. So you literally could put bar stools there and it's completely open to the living space. And then there's a hallway that goes back to the bedrooms and the bathrooms. Oh, and they both have in-house, they both have in-unit laundry as well, washer dryers in there. And those will stay. I won't warranty them, but they will stay. The 3624, I just put brand new washer and dryer in there.
Yeah, when I furnish a washer and dryer to renters, I don't.
Yeah, I don't warranty them either.
Repair it. That's one thing I don't want to get into. It's enough to repair it, keep a refrigerator, a range, and a microwave.
Exactly, but they were already in there, and so my tenants have been all my tenants have been great in terms of paying. I've not had any issues with these tenants, and we've had the unit since 2020. So the original guy that I had to replace with the short-term people, he had to leave because of work, but they all go through a service with their payments. So they're not writing a personal check. They go through a payment service and it arrives on time. And I've not had any problems with any of them. So.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I normally don't furnish washer and dryers either, but I bought one of my rental houses. They were there, or there was an estate sale there before when I bought it. So it was a reasonable price. So I went ahead and bought the washer and dryer and just furnished it as a little extra thing for the attractive to rent. And I had some great renters.
Yeah.
And the condo was the same way. I bought a condo with a washer and dryer rather than hauling a washer and dryer in and out of a condo, which a lot of people they're renting condos or apartment renters and probably don't have a washer and dryer. So it'd be a nice feature.
Yeah.
But this last month, both of those washing machines went out.
Oh no.
They called and said, "Hey, this is what it's going to cost to fix it." And, well, it's up to you. It's in your lease that you're up to fixing it. So, well, I think we'll just buy a new one. That's fine. If you wouldn't buy a new one, just have that one hauled away. I was just furnishing it because it was there.
Yep. We went ahead and replaced them just because the tenants have been so good, but normally I wouldn't do that in a house because I've done that before. And the first time I did that in a house, my tenants moved in and they had a washer and dryer and they're like, well, can you move those? Because we don't want to use yours. We want to use ours.
I know. That's the downside of that. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lloyd, I'd like to, if possible, we got a lot of stuff in the chat. I'd like to
Okay, go ahead.
keep moving on.
What's up on our next chat?
Well, Denise wants to know about the guy from, was it J&M or JM financing that was there on Wednesday?
Okay. Yeah. They're on our website. They're one of our sponsors. That's why he was there, and we give him mic time if any of our vendors that sponsor us on our website. I don't know if I've got one of his cards. Let me take a look at my.
Justy, would you be interested in creating a note and going to the class on Tuesday and creating a note?
I'm not. You'd have to have that conversation with my husband because he's my finance guy. But we could talk about it. We've never done it before.
Well, the class is tomorrow, not Tuesday. It's last Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
My days are mixed up.
No problem.
So
No,
yeah,
I'm interested though, if anybody in Lloyd and Jim, you guys were talking about, selling your stuff off one day. If anybody else is interested in doing that, I'm still interested in being a landlord. So, love to make some connections with people trying to offload their investments and, have a good relationship moving forward. So.
Okay, well, my first one I'm going to be offloading. I've already got. My tenant has a option to buy, so that's why I'm going to kind of transition them into, since they're already there. It makes for an easy sale.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody that has test driven the house for 5 to 7 years. I think this couple has been there almost 5 years now. That's what.
I'll let you know, Scott, when the time comes.
All right.
Yep.
So Lloyd, do you have the information on the guy, or?
I do not have it right offhand. It's on our website though, STLREIA.com. Down the right-hand side of most every page. Or if you just click on the vendor button at the top, it'll give you. You'll see all our vendors, and when you click on their logo on that vendor page, it'll open up just like David Soto's page. You can click on. He's another one of our Soto Property Solutions is one of our sponsors also. But I do not have. I couldn't find his card. I usually pick one up every time I'm there, so I pronounce the representative's name right. They've sent like 3 different representatives.
Yeah.
Over times they've been coming to our events for the last.
Okay.
Well, since we started back up and even before.
Yeah. So for Amber's question is, I don't know if Eddie does repairs or not. Just best thing to do is just call him, and if he doesn't, maybe get a recommendation from him.
Mm-hmm.
I say, so I just bought used appliances from him. Okay, and Scott put his contact information in the chat also.
Okay, yeah, Melody put Eddie's number out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melody.
That's for jmrealestatecapital.com. That's what I put in there.
Oh, that's for JM. Oh, that's JM.
Okay,
Real
thank you.
Estate,
Thank
Scott.
you. Yeah,
Okay.
somebody else I'm afraid to get out from my screen here. I'll always shut down the whole Zoom.
Yeah.
Looking at another
Okay,
website.
so that's the guy that's the company that was there on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Mhm.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh yeah, I know that. I take it back. I know the number. 1-800-WE-CLOSE. Whatever there is on the phone. That's what that's their. Is that got enough digits, or did I miss some of the first ones? That was an 800 number with we close.
I don't know if that's enough digits.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like. Is it? Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah.
Is the new representative, what's his name? Do you know that?
Is Steve
Okay.
Parker. Steve Parker, I believe it is. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the website. There's a contact us button, and there's several different guys that I think go around the country, and they get paid on referrals. So if we get, I just closed on a refinance with them about a month ago, and I gave some feedback a few weeks ago. But yeah, if I were to do it again, I'd try to get, I guess, our local guy and try to go through him so that he gets a referral fee.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that. Yeah, because they send different people, but yeah, makes sense. Yeah, most of those in that business, they work on a commission basis. So yeah, it's Stephen Parker has been coming late. It was I forget. There was a guy up in New York that was originally
Rob Fishbein.
Fishbein. There you go. Yeah, Fishbein. Rob Rob Fishbein. Thank you. They say names are the first thing to go when you're.
Yeah, Scott's got a better memory than we have.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the website, although I did go through Rob this last time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, Rob's a good guy, and he was always anxious to come. He would have come if we would have been meeting during the pandemic. He would say, "Hey, when you guys come back, get back together, we want to." And he got on several of our Zoom meetings too, to let us know about the mortgage market and what was going on. So he was very helpful to keep everybody informed.
So James, I'm gonna keep moving here. James, if you scroll up the chat to Eddie.
Oh yeah.
314-954-0707. He sells used appliances. He sells them out of his house.
Yeah, I say he doesn't have a showroom. That's why.
It's
low overhead.
Very low overhead, but
if you call, I'd say call him and tell him what you're looking for. If he's got one of those in the inventory, or maybe he can dust one off and it's in his repair cycle and get it running. Some minor repairs.
Yeah, Lloyd bought stuff from him. I bought things from him, and they're all working still. So
sure. Yeah, I said mine looked like new, and it was probably only a couple of years old, but it looked like new. And when I bought it, it was like half the price, or less than half the price of a new one with water, stainless steel, 2-door with water and ice in the door.
Mine wasn't that fancy.
No, well, I got high-end properties, so
yeah,
has appliances too.
Yeah,
they don't have to be brand new and cost as much.
Yeah. So does anybody have questions on notes or anything that they're kind of on the fence about going tomorrow?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we still have some opening. In fact, I shouldn't tell you this because I'd like everybody to go ahead and if you're thinking about it and you make a decision today, go ahead and get registered. So we'll make sure we got lunch for everybody. But we're leaving the registration open till tomorrow morning.
But yeah,
walk through the door, just in case somebody that is not on this call walks through the door.
Yeah,
we'll be able to register. We've worked with our webmaster, so you can register and pay on your smartphone if you come in the door.
So Kevin got into some details on Tuesday, but if anybody has any questions or wants me to if I can simplify some of the stuff, because some of the stuff he talked about I thought was kind of a little complicated.
Yeah, I was wishing you kept it simpler too.
Notes really aren't as complicated as he seemed to make them. So I'll be happy to answer some questions, but for $39, go tomorrow and just learn about them, because the non-performing notes are a way to get properties. Like I said, you have to do your own due diligence, but even performing notes, you still have to do due diligence, but you're getting a mailbox check every mailbox money every month without the landlord problems.
The last one I bought was a performing note, and it was easy. I never even stepped foot in a house. I drove by. It was working with a local investor and selling his note. I drove by the house in the neighborhood and said, "Yeah, boy, it's well worth that." So I'd be willing to pay that more than that for the house.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got the real estate as the platform.
It backed it, and it was good. And I think it was like a 5 or 7 years left on the note, but it got paid off early anyway. And so and I made my offer based on returning me a 15% per annum return on my investment.
Mm-hmm.
And when it paid off early, I should have calculated what the return was because it got paid off early. It was even bigger than 15% because it paid off early. It didn't get stretched out the rest of the 5 or 7 years that were left on it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if I should say this or not, but you can get other people to help you finance it too. I mean, if you know my understanding, I'm not a lawyer, so, but if you know the people, you can get there's people that have money in a savings account making less than 1%, and they can get in with you to invest in notes and
get in with you, and or like Kevin mentioned, he mentioned arbitrage.
Yeah,
you find out about a note, you're connected to the source, And like I said, I bought that one with giving me a 15% return. If I wanted to turn around and sell it to somebody that was only looking for 8% return on their investment, it would have been happy with it backed by real estate. I could have gotten a nice spread there.
Oh yeah, it's you can do it. You can't go out and solicit people you don't know. I believe that would be an SEC violation. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but if you know people that you're friends with, then that it would be legal, I believe.
Yeah, I think if you already have a relationship with them.
If you already have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a lot of people that have money sitting in a savings account, or even a money market account, making a few percent. And if you can give them 6 or 8%, they're happy. And you could be making more than that. They don't have to know, but however you want to do it. So it's possible. And like Lloyd said and Kevin said, it's secured by the collateral, by the house.
Yeah. So it's
or whatever the property is.
Yeah, and since we're real estate investors, it shouldn't bother us to have an investment that's backed by the real estate as a collateral. So worst case, you'll get the house for what you got invested in the note. And best case, you'll get paid off. You never have to go talk to the tenant or do any maintenance on it or do any other management. Just collect the checks. And what he recommends also, especially if you're going to have it put it for sale or do some exchange with it, to have it serviced by a professional service company.
Oh yeah, that is a must.
That's a must. Yeah, I'm sure you do that, Jim. I didn't. It was just like a little one-off deal that I did with a local investor. But
yeah, Dave Randolph is willing to, at least he talked to me. I'm assuming it's a general thing. He'll borrow money from you at 5%, but I don't know if he collateralizes it or not. Whatever. So if you have money at less than 1% and 5%, I guess sounds pretty good. And Alan Cowgill out of Ohio, for years, he's been to our meeting at least 3 times.
Yeah,
he sets up some luncheons in his old system, and I don't know if SEC has changed, where he invites people to come and listen to him, and then he signs up some of the people like that. I guess though his mother was the first person he borrowed money from. Had a better interest rate than what she was getting in her savings account, but he's got, I'm assuming he still has a lot of other people he borrows money from, and maybe even somewhere between 5 and 8%. And they're happy with that because he collateralizes it and buys property, fixes it up, and resells it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was going to ask Dave because I noticed when he advertises his houses, he puts on the sign, no financing available, no bank qualifying, that kind of stuff. But on his rehabs, especially rehab houses, I think he's probably creating some notes, or he has some money backers that are willing to accept a note backed by one of his newly renovated houses.
And of course, the other end of that is he'll borrow it from you at 5, but he'll lend it out at 18 plus 8 points.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that either. So there's all kind. Hey, there's multiple. As the thing about real estate, there's multiple ways of generating income and generating profits. There's more than just buying low and selling high. So there can be a lot involved. That's what tomorrow is going to be, giving us some education on another way or multiple ways. Basically, with buying notes, there's multiple ways of getting income and actually, creating, ending up with buying property if you buy the non-performing side of the note business.
Yeah, you always got to look at, on a non-performing note, you always have to look at your exit strategy. The Reader's Digest version of the exit strategy, as far as I'm concerned, you have three exit strategies. Is you can make the note, if there's somebody in the house, you can make the note a reperforming note. You go look at the property, do your due diligence. If they're taking care of the house, in good shape, they've got maybe kids in school, they want to stay there. They're behind because Bank of America won't work with them. They lost their job. They have a new job. Bank of America, and I'm not picking on Bank of America, just using it as an example. has attorney fees and late fees, and it's just too much, and they just gave up. But now that you bought the note at maybe a 50% discount, you have flexibility. You can get rid of the late fees. You can get rid of the attorney fees. You can redo the note, change the maturity date, lengthen it, work it out with them where they could pay it. And you have a reperforming note now. And in a couple of years, then you have a performing note and you can sell it as a performing note. Or they say, you know, I really like to stay here, but I can't afford it. And I just want to get over it. I just want this to get over with. You can do cash for keys and give them maybe some money to help them move if they take care of the house and it's in good shape. Or the third exit strategy is they don't want to work with you at all and you've got to foreclose. But because of that either the cash for keys or foreclosure, like I said, and I keep saying it, do your own due diligence, because you may get the house and it needs to be in a neighborhood and situation that you want, that you could either, you know, flip or rent out or whatever. So, but in a nutshell, those are the three exit strategies basically for a non-performing note.
Mm-hmm. I want to see.
And most of these non-performing notes are their owner occupants, or are they like landlords that aren't?
Well, the non-performing notes are basically mortgages that haven't been paid on.
Right.
Notes, a promissory note backed by a mortgage, which is basically the property. So it could be somebody living in the house. It could be a vacant house. They could have moved out already. So you don't really know.
Okay.
But it's basically what's happening now is banks have a lot of mortgages or notes that are behind. They're non-performing. People aren't paying because of COVID, whatever. And they're not going to go through what they did in 2008 and do mass foreclosures because of the bad publicity, the expense of foreclosing, the legal expense. They have to maintain the houses. They have to insure them. They have to have somebody cut the grass. They don't want to hassle with that crap. So they bundle up all their non-performing notes and they sell them to hedge funds. BlackRock is a big one. And the hedge funds buys them. The hedge funds takes the ones that they want. I don't know the exact criteria they use, but probably the higher end ones. They keep those and do the same thing that we would do, make them either a performing note or do a foreclosure. And then BlackRock takes the ones that they don't want, sells them to somebody else. And then that group or person or whatever does the onesie twosies and flows them down to people like us. And so that's why there's going to be a lot of that, because like I said, the banks don't want to hassle foreclosing anymore. That's my opinion, and I believe that's what's happening.
Yeah, I think that you look at the statistics. Yeah, there should be a lot more foreclosures because due to now that the moratorium on foreclosures is over, there should be a lot more of them. But what the banks are doing to settle that is they're forcing them out to the hedge funds and the bigger guys to get them off of their books. I'm assuming probably the hedge funds probably don't like to do foreclosures either, so they're probably pushing a lot of the non-performing ones back onto the down to the small, especially the lower value properties. That's the ones that end up coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hedge funds keep the
they keep the expensive ones. The
$1
nice
million, the $500,000 houses, because they know there's always a market for it, and spruce them up and get them back into shape. And have a lot of per transaction. There's a lot more profit for the hedge funds, and that's what they can spend they have to spend as much manpower and money to foreclose on a $50,000 house or $100,000 house as they would a $1 million house. So they don't put their time or money on it. That's why those are the ones they would push down.
Yeah.
And
So
then the ones
basically,
that- yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I was gonna say, so basically that's in a nutshell how a non-performing note works. A performing note is one that's being paid, and the ones in the market aren't from banks because banks are gonna keep theirs. They're gonna keep their performing notes. But an example of a performing note would be somebody that sold their house for sale by owner. It was free and clear. They sold it and they went ahead and, you know, decided to sell it and finance it themselves. And then after a couple of years, they're going, you know, I really like the lump sum. This $600 a month is nice, but my wife wants to go on a round the world cruise, or I've got a daughter that's going to get married. So I need the lump sum. So
Yeah. Kids going to college.
yeah, the kids get, so they sell it and you try to get it at a discount. And so that's one source of performing notes. Another source of performing notes would be the hedge funds. Usually, and this, I'm in kind of generalization here, the hedge funds get investors to finance their buying of all these non-performing notes. And a lot of times those are in 5-year, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's in a 5-year type thing. So at the end of 5 years, they have to pay their investors off. So the hedge funds have made these non-performing notes into performing notes. Now they sell the performing notes off so they can pay their investors off. And then another example of a performing note would be if you bought a non-performing note, moved somebody in the house or made it re-performing for the current tenant and seasoned it for a couple of years. And now you go, yeah, I want the lump sum. I want to invest in something else. And so you put it on the market. And there's websites and there's markets out there to sell performing notes. So that's about it.
Yeah, and there's companies looking for it, because if you got a performing note, you'll be getting it. You get a few things in the mail.
Yeah. but like Kevin says, you want, if you generate your own note, you really need to have a servicer service it, because as an investor, if you're looking at a performing note and somebody says, yeah, he's been paying, and he pulls out this yellow pad of paper with all the things scribbled on it, you don't know if he just did that last night. You don't know how true it is. So it's worth having a professional, regulated servicer do it. Not only is it less hassle for you, but if you go to sell it, you can probably get a better price for it because you have proof of the payment history.
Yeah, and as Kevin was mentioning that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Things that are wrong with your note, you don't have documentation on it. That means discount. Anyway, he said, don't necessarily look away, turn your back on those. If they don't have all the documentations, you just better get a better discount on the note. It's not structured right, and they don't have all the documentation that you need to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got the one I purchased from a local investor I got 15%. Yeah, he had, like what Jim said, I got a Xerox copy of a piece of paper that had dates and amounts on it. It was just handwritten, shaded. He had serviced it himself, collected them. But I made sure the insurance was paid, and everything else was up to date, and the taxes and insurance were paid and everything. So
Lloyd, what does it cost to have a servicer do the servicer? I'm assuming there's fees involved. What do they?
Oh yeah, there's fees. I'm not sure, Jim.
I think Kevin mentioned anywhere from $18 to $35, depending what services you want in the servicer.
Okay.
But it's not that bad.
Is that a month, a year?
That's a month.
A month, I would think that. Yeah, they would a monthly, because they're collecting your payments on a monthly basis. So I would.
Yeah, and they take care of the escrow. They take care of making sure the insurance and taxes are paid. And then if they're late, they send a letter out to the homeowner and say you're late. Part of the service.
Yep. Yep, I do own that. So that's a nice thing about that. and like you said, you got, like Jim said, you got the documentation. And, oh yeah, the thing that Kevin also mentioned, that there's not as much competition. We mentioned earlier, hey, it's hard to find these good deals. We mentioned earlier in the session here, find a good deal, just on buying a house to rehab it. Much competition because there just aren't as many people out looking in the note business. Yeah, some, if you buy them from a hedge fund that has a list of vetted purchaser buyers, they send out a whole tape of spreadsheet on a monthly basis of the properties they've got or the notes they've got available. There may be some competition there because a lot of eyes are looking at it, but still, you got time to do your due diligence and then put your offer in. But with areas that I really would like to get in is going out, getting a list. I think he mentioned it Tuesday, getting a list of people like that have one-off notes, the people that wanted to sell their house 5 years ago, but they couldn't, because of financial situations, they couldn't get their buyer couldn't get a bank loan, so they agreed to take the note. And you can go get a list of those, and then you can send mailings to them. And like I said, I know there are companies, some big companies that do that. In fact, he mentioned one of the big ones. I went back and looked. I keep a file of those letters that people send me because I'm collecting on notes, and say, "Oh, this is a nice letter." And if I go out to get that list, I'm going to mail out a letter very similar to this one. This is a professional company, so I know this is a strategy that they've got somebody that professionally, put the right wording in here, and to get people, to attract people to call them to get the information on their notes. So I started saving those letters that I got. People want to buy my note, companies that want to buy my note, saying, okay, all I need to do is go out to one of the the big data companies that scrapes off the public records, and you can do that. And Kevin will get in more detail tomorrow with these companies and how you can do it.
Yeah. So Justy, real quick, the service provider is basically the same type of person that if you have a mortgage in your house, you send them a check.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
We're a servicing company. Yeah.
Send them a check or electronic or whatever. Yeah. So they do all that work in the background. So yeah, it's the same type of thing. And
I never, engaged with one on my own, so I didn't know what they charged. We talked about 1031 a little bit earlier, and we did our first 1031 when we bought these condos in St. Peter's, and so I, learned about what their fees were. Just didn't know what the fees were for the servicing people because I've not done the notes before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Kevin mentioned like $18 to $30, $35 a month. You can shop them, just like you do anything else. But there's a few that I think he'd recommend.
Okay.
But that he's had good luck with. So yeah.
Does he have any kind of due diligence for them as well? Like, are there anything that he looks for in particular in terms of, just to know that they're solid and they're not gonna?
I think they're regulated.
That makes sense.
I think they're regulated. So yeah, I mean, you wanna make sure of that. Okay. I don't remember who regulates them, but
yeah. I checked into when I was back 2013, 2014. I was considering getting into this more actively. I went to those seminars. I took my son with me. I was really looking for a business opportunity for him, but he never really latched onto it. Yeah, we called some. I looked for a local servicing company. What do they get? I think I just did a little Google search locally. I found somebody, and then I think they were doing some servicing, but they weren't qualified to service for other people yet. He was working on getting his certification, whatever it was. One guy I talked to local here when we were looking for servicing companies.
Okay, yeah, I figured they might have to be licensed or certified by the state probably, or by some.
Yeah, because they're working with the banks and the big financial institutions and they don't want to just hand over that kind of information that they handle on all their borrowers. to anybody. So it's got to be somebody that can handle the data securely and everything. Okay.
So Bruce has got a couple of things on the chat, Lloyd. Maybe you can
Well,
finish up.
yeah, he sent, and I answered him back specifically
Oh,
to him.
okay.
Yeah, about the lunch. Yeah, we got. I already had one vegetarian wrap for Steve Patel, and I ordered a second one. So I'll put Bruce's name on the second one. Unless we got another vegetarian that knows they're going to sign up tomorrow, let me know right now. I had ordered 2 vegetarian veggie wraps for the sandwiches tomorrow, and then right now they're spoken for. They're both spoken for. Bruce just, I knew Bruce was coming, but I didn't realize that he was a vegetarian also. So.
Okay. And I don't know, Bruce. That's the only book that I know of that Kevin has. However, if you go to YouTube, Kevin does have his own YouTube channel. So there is a lot of information on that too.
And you can buy them on Amazon. I bought mine. I meant to, when I was introducing him the other day on Tuesday, I meant to hold up my book and say, now I did not take us out of those 20 free ones he sent us. Even though was the third person to show up after John and Laura Lee on Tuesday. I wanted to make sure I read his whole book before Tuesday. And so I did. And yeah, it's good. It's a quick read. I was reading it at breakfast and lunchtime, and
yeah,
that's when I sit down and read my magazine and get caught up on my reading.
I think I got mine in 2019 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When it first came out.
When it first came out, yeah, it's a 2019.
I got it when it first came out.
So yeah, and I'm sure, I know he keeps track of the market too. I'm sure there's some updates that he'll have probably in his next book on what's happened, how the pandemic has affected this market, which is going to make it even better probably as we found out. So.
That's a question that somebody can ask him tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I won't be there. I got a conflict. But
if he doesn't, I'm sure he will address it. If he doesn't, I'm going to be asking it. So
yeah, okay.
Okay. Anybody else got any? Yeah. Okay. Yep. But anyway. Yep. Oh,
and well, Bruce is
asking
about due diligence, and yes, he'll go through due diligence, Bruce. He's going to go through some actual notes, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was the biggest impressed with him the first time I heard him, like 7 or 8 years ago. That he got into the weeds as far as
and he'll demonstrate how most of his due diligence right away is just over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of it over the internet before he spends any money on BPOs and title searches and anything like that. Yeah. He'll weed a lot of it out through his internet searches. He'll go and see how much crime the neighborhood has. There's a lot of things that you can see.
Oh yeah, there's so much information on the internet these days that you can find out about a house that in neighborhoods and cities and by zip code, all kinds of information that you can do that due diligence.
Yeah.
And then he said, and then when you make your offer, you make it contingent upon having a BPO and whatever else things that you have to do to have boots on the ground if you need them.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the BPO doesn't come up with enough value, then okay, your offer, you can withdraw your offer.
Yeah, and a title search and all that. But so if you buy it on a lot of the platforms on the internet, once you establish that you want to buy it, then they give you X amount of days to do your due diligence. They'll hold it for so many days, I believe, to let you do a good due diligence. So yeah. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't want you too much, but no, I want to give you a little. Because Jim's currently one of Kevin's clients, and I've sat with him through a couple of days with a seminar. So got good information. He's a great educator. He puts things in real understandable terms. I think he realized. I don't know if you realize how fast he went through his 90-minute presentation the other night. He covered way more than I was expecting. So hopefully it didn't give anybody overload. But I'm sure, I know he'll slow it down tomorrow and
It's just,
into the weeds.
it's the way I look at it, for $39, if you can make it, it's money well spent. And even if you're not sure you want to do notes right now, you have some knowledge of it.
Just the education,
And,
right?
and yeah, just the education, and you might do it at a later date.
Mhm. Okay, well, we won't bore anybody else, but if anybody has any last minute questions, welcome to field anything if something came up you thought about. If not, I think we'll call it a day. I'm gonna go out and check on my grandson. I think I hear a little noise going on downstairs now. He might be awake from his nap. So hopefully he hasn't gotten into too much trouble. Hey, thank you all for coming on today. Hope to see you tomorrow. If you haven't already signed up, I encourage you to go ahead and do it right now, because we get a lot big. I might be able to make another call in to up our lunch, box lunches for tomorrow, but hope to see you there. If not, we'll see you next week here, same place. Thanks all for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
everyone. Have
Thanks,
a great
everybody.
weekend.
Hey, you
Take
take
care.
care. Bye-bye. And let's see. Yeah, Laura gave her contact information. Okay, let's see. Yeah.